Lockport lost in last year's quarterfinals, but are guaranteed the school's first trophy in 30 years. The Bulldogs and the Porters tip it off next.
It's America's original March Madness, and what a wild finish in our first 4A semifinal here tonight. Zion Benton winning on a last-second shot. We can only hope for the same kind of excitement here in the nightcap of our 4A doubleheader. Hello and welcome to Peoria. I'm Lee Hall. 4A basketball for the first time ever. Lockport making their second straight trip to Peoria, and it's 11 straight wins. First trip to the final ever for Oak Lawn and Richards. Here's Dave Bernhardt and Mark Lindo for the call of tonight's second 4A semifinal. Guys?
Boy, right you are, Lee, as far as that great finish to game number one. That matched two teams from the north suburban Chicago area. This one, of course, two teams from the south. And Mark, geography may be similar, but the approaches that these two teams take, Lockport and Richards, the approaches to basketball, so different.
Absolutely different. Coach Geppetto's team, Richards, they want a frenetic style of play. They want to trap, they want to run and jump, they want to create offense with their defense. On the other side, Lawrence Thompson Jr. team, they want to have a more controlled kind of a basketball game, make the extra pass, change their zone defenses to confuse Richards.
Let's take a look at the road to Peoria. First of all, for the Bulldogs from Richards, defeating Hinsdale South 64-51 for the regional championship. However, they only won their first regional game by 2 points over Eisenhower. Brother Rice and Lions fell in the Richards sectional, and then a dominating victory over Neuqua Valley in the super sectional at Chicago State. For Lockport, a tough road, defeating Stagg for the regional championship, and then knocking off Thornton in a big way before defeating Bloom in overtime, converting 19 of 19 free throws in that ball game. And then it was a three-pointer at the buzzer to knock off O'Fallon and avenge last year's quarterfinal loss to O'Fallon. So it's Lockport and Richards, and for the Richards Bulldogs, we're going to get a chance to see a player that folks in Peoria are going to be seeing an awful lot on this Carver Arena.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and the City of Peoria, welcome to 4A semifinal action, Class A Boys 2008. America's original March Madness is ready for you this evening. Oak Lawn Richards Bulldogs 28-4 will take on the Lockport Township Porters 24-6. Let's meet the non-starters for each team. For Oak Lawn, a 6'1 senior, 4, Tyrone Roper. A 6'2 sophomore, 10, Randall Rushing. 5'8 senior, 11, Lamar Harvey. 5'8 senior, 12, Corey Wolf. 6'3 senior, 30, Sammy Olean. 6'2 sophomore, 33, Keith Sconyers. 6'2 junior, 40, Jeff Harris. 6'3 senior, 44, Dwayne McGee. 6'1 junior, 45, Peter Danos. And a 6'3 junior, 50, Kyle Rankin. And now for Lockport Township, 6'1 junior, Kyle Ford. 5'10 junior, Ryan Palazzo. 6'4 senior, 22, Kevin Malloy. 5'8 junior, 24, Andre Mays. 6'5 junior, 34, Jake Boyce. 6'4 senior, 42, Aaron Zerkes. 6'4 junior, 44, Aaron Tucker. The 6'3 junior, 50, Lonnie Pinnick. 6'4 sophomore, 52, Landon Gamble. And a 6'5 junior, 54, Kyle Petches. Now let's meet the starting lineups for this 4A semifinal contest. At a guard for Oaklawn Richards, a 6-foot senior, 2, Mike Denson. At a guard for Lockport Township, a 6'3 senior, 3, Brian Bradley. Another guard for the Bulldogs, a 5'10 senior, 5, Elliot Gonzalez. At a guard for the Porters, a 6-foot senior, 10, Mike Frigo. The third guard for Richards, a 6'2 senior, 23, Tommy Thomas. At a forward for Lockport, a 6'4 senior, 12, Rob Carroll. At a forward for the Bulldogs, a 6'8 junior, 21, Sean Prattle. At a forward for the Porters, a 6'2 senior, 30, Darrell Williams. At a forward for Oaklawn Richards, a 6'5 senior, 34, Carl Richard. At a forward for Lockport Township, a 6'6 senior, 32, Justin Giroz. Head coach for Richards, 6 years at the school, a record of 114-53, John Chappetto. Assistant coaches, Demetrius McDaniel, Tim Baker, Derek Johnson, and Bill Judge. Head coach for Lockport, 9 years for the Porters, a record of 144-105, Loris Thompson Jr. Assistant coaches, John Greenan, Terry Green, John Meyer, Brett Hespel, and Rory O'Connell. As the players and coaches wish each other good luck at half court, the IHSA, the board of directors, and member schools expect and promote good sportsmanship by all athletes, coaches, students, parents, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and the officials in a positive manner. Do what's right. No other state in America can claim the rich history and tradition that's been generated by March Madness in Illinois. It's America's original March Madness. Please direct your attention to the arena floor and meet the official of this game. The referee from Peoria, Eugene Rayford. From Fairview Heights, Scott Posey. And from Belleville, Terry Gallagher. Sending the game ball will be Greg Gay, Director of Outreach Services, Great Plains Orthopedics, one of the sponsors of the March Madness experience. All of us thank Great Plains Orthopedics for their contribution to the greatest high school single event in the land.
Your starting lineups tonight, first of all, for Richards, features some great athletes. Sean Prattle and Tommy Thomas, great football players. Elliot Gonzalez, a steady point guard. And we talked about Carl Richard. Mike Denson can shoot it. On the other side, Brian Bradley, the only returning starter from last year's team for Lockport that played on this floor. However, Mike Frigo, Darrell Williams, and Justin Jaros also played down here last year. Rob Carroll, a valuable role player. And we thank Walgreens for being a proud sponsor of these IHSA telecasts and the IHSA Do What's Right sportsmanship program. So, Mark, you've got a coach here in Lawrence Thompson Jr. His team was here last year. A coach on the other side, John Chappetto. He has dreamed of being here. First time he's been here. How important does the coaching aspect, first 5 minutes, play into this?
Well, I think game plans have been put in. There's been a lot of video watched, no doubt about that. And the control I think that you might have as a coach emotionally is gone the first couple minutes as these players feel each other out early on.
Lockport to start in the white, the Bulldogs. Gold jerseys. It's Darrell Williams. Powerful body inside. Second leading scorer for the Porters. Justin Jaros. Now he can shoot it from the outside. Gerald's second on the team with 43 pointers. Rob Carroll with the travel.
pretty good patience shown by Lockport. They had a 28-second possession, and they were making the extra pass, reverse the ball side to side horizontally, and then just a bad decision at the baseline. They didn't finish the possession, a solid one they had started. Here they are in a 2-3 zone.
Elliot Gonzalez, the point guard, has it right now, and he absolutely controls the tempo, looking to go back door.
That's your scouting right there. That was a set play that they probably saw 2 or 3 times in the Neuqua Valley game, and so John Geppetto had his man stay home.
Williams powers his way in for the first score of this game.
Only 6'2", but 200 pounds, able to use that lower body strength to elevate and the upper body strength to help him finish.
For 3 the other way. That's Tommy Thomas. Thomas, an outstanding quarterback for the Richards football team.
He was able to finish that shot under duress. He'll be playing football at Purdue University next year.
Brian Bradley makes it go.
Brian Bradley, just a special player. We mentioned at the top, he played in a super sectional game a couple years ago against West Aurora, played in the quarterfinals last year, hit the big shot the other night to win the super sectional game, and brought his team to the finals here and gets them off the board on the board.
So Bradley's three-point play matches Tommy Thomas's three-pointer. Lockport has the 2-point lead. Richards missed on the 3. Gonzalez will toe it up.
Gonzalez with a good 1-2 step, squared up. Just an outstanding point guard who can make big plays in his own right. He's playing on a bad ankle. He injured his ankle twice the other night. He told me all he did was ice for 48 straight hours.
It's only his 13th three-pointer of the season. That's 4th best on this Richards team.
Richards will have to hit the perimeter jump shot against the zone that Lockport will play against them.
Denson hangs and scores.
Great body control in transition as he was able to let the defender come down, eliminate the weak side help, and finish that basket.
This is not the position Lockport wanted to be in, having that Richards defensive pressure locked on. 12th time Lockport has been here. However, this will only be the 3rd time that they will bring home a state trophy. For state champs and legendary year for Bob Desarich.
That was quite a basketball team in 73.
Gonzalez will play the game at his pace here. Inside to Prattle, and he's going to be hammered immediately there by Justin Jaros.
Set play called by Coach John Geppetto on the sideline.
Stagg could give you a pretty good scouting report on both Richards and Lockport. Bradley will snatch it out of midair, and here's the break. And the block from behind by Thomas. Another block as Frigo misses. Bulldogs on the move. Denson can shoot it. The extra little hop made a rebounding an adventure, and the ball will go out of bounds off of Lockport.
Denson wide open in the corner as Lockport not be able to define their man defensively, but he was not able to hit the wide open jump shot.
Sean Prattle steps outside. Wow.
One of the better junior athletes in the state. We'll talk about his prowess on the football field and the basketball court as the night goes on.
Nice drop down pass inside. Rob Carroll will get the bucket for the Porters. That three-pointer by Prattle was only his 6th 3 of the season.
Richards with a 4-point lead, but more importantly, I think they have the pace and tempo a little bit more to their favor than Lockport right now.
Williams wants to push, thinks better of it.
So they need to play half-court offense and not try to run up and down track-wise with Richards.
Darrell Williams, no role for him. Tommy Thomas, great athlete.
Tommy Thomas with a hesitation dribble. He takes the ball from his left hand, hesitates, give a little head fake, and then crosses over to his right, where he's able to get the defense on his backside and get himself to the free throw line.
Tommy Thomas, quarterback for Richards this year. He's also played defensive back, wide receiver, a punt returner. As Mark said, he'll go to Purdue and play safety for the Boilermakers.
Leads his team with 35 threes. And talking to John Chiappetto, I said, describe the young man. He said, marvelous athlete. 2 words, marvelous athlete. What a nice compliment from his coach.
Thomas' scoring average ranks him 3rd best on this team. He has 5 points. Richards has 13, and it's a 6-point Bulldogs advantage. We're midway through the first quarter in our second semi in 4A. Brian Bradley going to look for more when we come back.
Richards is actually probably best known for their football program. Head coach Gary Cohenen actually just retired as the state's winningest coach with 306 wins as the head coach of their football program. They won back-to-back state titles in years 88 and 89. And actually the Southside basketball fans may be a little familiar with Coach John Chiappetto's family. His father, Charlie, was a longtime basketball official for the Chicago Catholic League, which I find to be quite interesting. How about you, Dave?
Indeed, and you know, Ashley, that story with John Chiappetto and his father, who passed away fairly recently, has made this a very, very emotional time for the man you're looking at right there, John Chiappetto.
Yeah, he said that he thinks about his dad, who passed away in 1996, every game, but even more of a special moment tonight, reaching the epitome of coaching, the state finals.
You know, they would come down here every year. They'd check out who was going to be in the Elite Eight, and he admitted, he says, you know what, it didn't even really matter. We knew we were coming down. And to be on this floor, and it was interesting, actually, Mark, talking to John just moments before this game started, and he was still in awe, just standing there, you know, minutes before he was going to tip this one off.
Yeah, the nice story, he said he was with the Basketball Coaches Association gathering last night, and he said, I'm always here as just one of the guys. And he had a little celebrity in him last night as he's here with a trophy in hand tomorrow night. Which one is yet to be determined.
He has a 6-point lead right now. And his team's going to scrap a little bit on defense as that pass somehow snakes its way through traffic. Bradley unable to bail him out, but look at a big body inside. You can count it from Landon Gamble, the 6'4", 215-pound sophomore.
Landon Gamble is a presence, and you mentioned it, 6'4", 215. He's just a baby as far as age, but he's played like a seasoned veteran right there. The most impressive thing, besides banging and bodying inside, was he kept the ball up and elevated rather than taking it down where the little guys get their hands on it in traffic.
Assistant coach John Greenan for Lockport has nicknamed Landon Gamble the Big House. Here's a young man that, more than on a basketball floor, he does so much more. Landon Gamble volunteers his time with the special education program at Lockport High School.
That's a neat story in itself, a young man that gives back to others.
Gonzalez looking to create. That foul will go against Darrell Williams. Got a look at the scoring numbers a little while ago for these two teams. Lawrence Thompson's club, 83 points against Thornwood in December, and they're not afraid to slow it down with you. It was a loss to West Aurora, but Lockport through the years won an awful lot of games scoring 33 points. They're going to get the turnover here. Not a wise decision. Here's Gonzalez. Finds his man inside.
What a great feed by Gonzalez, and then what a great flush. Gonzalez draws the defense to him and then just dishes off as rotation didn't occur for the Lockport Porters.
Carl Richards putting it down. Lockport will hustle their way back.
Box set, they want to run what they call a double screen on the baseline. Pop the shooter out.
Shot attempt by Thomas is knocked away, and Tommy Thomas get another chance at the free throw line.
Nothing fancy on that set, but efficient. They ran Denson off a double screen, a wall screen on the strong side, the near side of the floor. And then once the defense rotated out to help on Denson, he just popped it right back into Thomas, who was able to get post position and draw the foul, get himself to the charity stripe.
Get a good look at the Richards crowd there. You know, that cheering section there, a rowdy cheering section, they call it the blackout.
It's so much fun to watch every student section down here come together as one. Student body come together as one for the original March Madness.
The thing that's so great about that, and they had a pep rally, of course, at Richards, as they did with all these high schools that are down here this weekend. But the fan support, both from the community in Oak Lawn and also from the students, just generated here through the playoffs.
Absolutely. You know, Oak Lawn Richards with just, I thought, a superlative performance, dismantling a very solid Neuqua Valley team. Their pressure was just relentless all night long, and of course Lockport, their journey's been a difficult one, but they hit a big shot to get here as well. Both communities excited about their Final Four appearance.
For Lockport, a lot of folks don't realize this, but in the storied history, here's Thomas for three. Lockport's storied history, they have never won 3 consecutive sectional championships until this year. A major, major history moment for the Lockport basketball program.
Lawrence Thompson Jr. has a program in place. He stayed with his system, with what he believed in, and all his hard work, fruition took place as he's brought his team to the epitome of high school basketball. That's, like you said, 3 straight appearances, sectional championships wins.
Lawrence Thompson Jr. already has 2 state championships in cross country. He went back-to-back cross country championships. This is Darrell Williams. Porters try to fight their way back.
He split the defense and no rotation, and he had a wide open lane to the bucket.
Does Darrell Williams go coast to coast? Not going to get a chance.
Darrell Williams explosive in the open floor. We'll get a chance to see him again using his athleticism. He picks off the pass, playing the passing lane, turns Gonzalez around a couple times, takes the ball to 10, and they call that on the floor. But great overplay defense by Williams.
Bradley, the leading scorer, can't put it down for the Porters. And we somewhat thought that the job would be for Lockport to control the pace, but in the half-court sets here, it's been all Richards here that's determined how this game was going to be going up and down the floor.
Yeah, the key with that, though, is the zone by Lockport is really slowing down Richards, making them throw the extra 3 or 4 passes.
The follow inside by the big man, Sean Prattle.
Prattle being recruited by numerous mid-major colleges as a junior in basketball, but he's got the likes of Notre Dame, Colorado, those kind of schools interested him as a football recruit.
Inside out. Shot blocked by Thomas. Carroll gets it back. Now Bradley for 3. Book it.
Ball was reversed from wing to top to wing, and Bradley was spotted up, and he finished that with great authority insofar as his ability to step into his shot.
3.2 seconds left to be enough time for the Porters from Lockport to get the ball down the floor.
Usually right here, time for 2 dribbles if they choose to play that way.
Here it comes. And that ends our first quarter. 32 points on the board, 18 belong to Richards, the winner to play Zion Benton for the state title. We've completed our first quarter in this 4A semi, and we'll be back after these words from your local sponsors.
Back, Richards leading Lockport 18-14, and we are with a member of the 1978 Lockport State Championship team. Scott Parsons is with us. What kind of memories come back to you when you come back to the state finals? What do you remember about that 78 team?
Well, I remember all my teammates and what a great time we had, and it was just a great experience for us. And you know, what I really remember was beating St. Lawrence that year and coming to the state finals and playing Isaiah Thomas's team and beating Isaiah Thomas's team pretty handily.
That's pretty impressive for the resume. Tell me about this team. Maybe a surprise being here.
Well, you know what? I saw them earlier in the year at Pontiac Tournament, and they played Peoria Emanuel, who was down here with the 2A team. I'd never thought at that time that Lockport would be playing in the Final Four here. So it's quite a surprise, but you know what? They're playing at the right time and gelling.
All right. Hey, good reminiscing with you.
You bet.
All right, enjoy tonight. All right. Some of Lockport's tradition here tonight, guys. Checking out the new age Porters. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Lee. And it's interesting, Scott Parzich mentions that Pontiac tournament. Lockport lost twice at Pontiac against Peoria Emanuel and Oak Park River Forest, two teams that obviously fared very well this year. Peoria Emanuel finished second in Class 2A. In fact, that was a stretch where Lockport lost 3 of 4 in addition to that in the middle of January. So they lost 5 of 8 games in that late December, early middle January stretch. 5 of their 6 losses coming there. But as Scott Parzich said, Mark, they have come on strong, and that's a trait that Larry Lawrence Thompson Jr. has been able to develop in his team.
He really has. The team has gelled late the last 3 consecutive years and been able to get on runs. And, you know, that's, again, the mental psyche of a team. When a coach can control that and get in the minds of young men and make them overachieve after being down and defeated in any kind of mini slump, that's when he's done his job psychologically.
Well, chances here for Lockport that have been turned away, and we'll have a foul down on this end. And here is your first quarter stats update brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
3-point field goals for Richard stands out. They've attempted 7, trying to shoot over the zone of Lockport. They have to shoot a better percentage than that. They are dominating things on the glass. As far as turnovers, Lockport only 3, and I think that's key because Richards needs to turn Lockport over at least 12 to 15 times this evening.
Carl Richards at the free throw line, 6'5", 210-pound senior. His coach John Chiappetto says he reminds me of Joey Range. Now, those of you folks that have been involved with IHSA basketball over the years, remember Range, what a great player at Galesburg High School.
Yeah, he was a streak of a silver streak, no doubt about that. Coach Chiappetto also said that he thinks Carl Richard, anytime he wants to, can be the best player on the floor when he plays with full passion.
Here's a turnover the other way to Richard. Flush.
I'll tell you what happened right there is the press was on and Lockport's posting a man in the middle. You have to meet every pass offensively against full court pressure. See the trap. We're going to get a chance to see a replay on the dunk, I believe. And you'll see the trap that led to that. So points off turnovers and the flush at the far end.
Nobody was going to get it in the way of that one. You stand underneath the net on that one, you're going to hurt yourself. Looking to build on the 8-point lead.
Richards being very patient against this zone. The ball's got to go to the high post or to the short corner down on the baseline before they shoot a jump shot. There's the short corner and there's the high post. Now the defense breaks down.
And an easy bucket for Sean Prattle.
It's an easy game when you do it, you're coached, but you have to have athletes be able to finish plays. Prattle just did.
The lead is 10. And another turnover. Here comes Thomas. Finish!
Showtime right there in transition. Thomas saw Prattle out of the corner of his eye. He laid it up, and Prattle's athletic ability did the rest.
Gamble inside, will not finish, and this is a dangerous time right here for Lockport. Richards starting to smell it here midway through the second quarter.
They got the tempo where they want it. That's why that shot was missed by Gamble.
Richard, the rebound off the Denson miss of 3. And 2 more free throws coming up for Richards. Pat Richardson, the head coach for Brother Rice, says Richards is good for 2 runs a game. Well, this is one right here at the 4:58 mark of the second quarter.
And Brother Rice played them very competitively in the sectional. However, Richards was able to get those couple runs, and that's what they live on, and that's what they thrive on, is being able to run off 6, 8, 10 points sometime in a matter of 90 seconds to 120 seconds. They can blitzkrieg you.
Justin Jarrows comes back to the ball game for Lockport. He has 2 personal fouls, but Lawrence Thompson Jr. just could not keep 6'6" senior out any longer. Doesn't get much kinder than that on the free throw hop for Tommy Thomas. And the Richards Bulldogs have doubled up the Lockport Porters as we go to a local break.
Lockport is actually celebrating their 100th season as a team. And the boys' very first basketball season was under the coach George Snap. And they actually went 1-5 that season. Yes, only 6 games, but we have to remember that was 100 seasons ago. And the Porters actually have a lot of other successful teams. Football is a very successful team, as well as boys cross country, which has 2 state titles. And the girls have brought home some hardware as well with badminton, bowling, softball, and volleyball. So I'm sure the guys would love to bring some more trophies home to fill that hallway in Lockport. Back to you, Dave.
Indeed, Ashley, though they've got some work cut out for them now. A 10-0 run to start the second quarter for the Richards Bulldogs.
Richards has 6 baskets, and 5 of them have come in the paint. So that's what they're doing, is getting the ball deep.
Richards made sure he got it in deep again.
Biggest lead of the game is where it's at now at 14, and they have a chance to add with that with Carl Richard at the free throw line.
And also is the 7th team foul on Lockport.
Richard is 71% free throw shooter, so a nice touch for a big guy.
His 2 field goals tonight have been dunks. He said he'll be playing at Indiana State, so that means he will be coming here to Peoria and play in the Valley, right there where he's towing up the line.
He'll be in unfriendly confines when he comes in here to carve her in against the Braves.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have several thousand fans rooting him on when the Sycamores come here.
1-2-2 half court trap right now. Very subtle. The first pass over half court, they'll jump it.
There it is. And there's a steal.
And now the race is on.
Richard. Boy, that was a quick rebound there. Tough rebound by Jarrows. That just came right down on his nose. Lockport looking for their first points of the second quarter. Bradley can't get it.
That shot by Bradley was a frustration shot. He knows his team hasn't scored for what, about 4 minutes and 10 seconds. He knows he's a senior. The onus is on him. And a no pass 22-footer is not something that Lawrence Thompson Jr. would normally want, but you got to give the senior credit for wanting to make a play.
Darrell Williams draws some contact, but he's going to finish it. 6 points for Darrell Williams. Matches Brian Bradley, 6 for Lockport. Strong rebound by Gamble. Jarrows on the drive, and Richards will be called for goaltending as he comes flying through the lane.
Jarrows had a very quick first step to the basket. You see weak side help rotate over as Jarrows beats his man, lays the ball up on the glass, but the ball was in the cylinder, and the good call by the trail official.
Lockport looking for a defensive stop here, so they have an opportunity to cut this lead under double figures. That's the play they tried to run to start the game, and for the second straight time, Lockport's broken it up.
Just a weak side back screen. They try to back screen the wing on the far side of the floor with a lob pass. That one's been scouted out very well by the Lockport Porters.
You mentioned that Lockport has won 3 consecutive sectional titles. For Richards, it's their first sectional championship in 10 years, and they won that one last week. Bradley will bank it in as he gets down into the post.
Bradley very versatile. We've seen him step out, shoot the 3 for 3 years. We've seen him play with his back to the basket. Nice little bank shot there as he got the man on his backside and was able to finish off the glass.
6 straight now scored by Lockport. Prattle to Richard. That's a pretty good combination right there.
I'll tell you what, you go 6'7" on the inside to 6'6" on the inside, high and low. very tough to defend because it negates any kind of weak side defense. This high-low basketball, you can't get any help from your teammates.
Tommy Thomas with a hand check on Justin Gerald. Last time that Richards won a sectional championship, of course, it led to their only previous Sweet 16 appearance, and in that game, Richards lost to Joliet 64-63, and who was one of the stars on that Richards team? None other than Dwayne Wade. Gonzalez looking to beat Bradley instead. One of the few poor decisions you're going to see Elliot Gonzalez make.
There's a strong rumor flying around Peoria that if Richards were to win tonight, Dwayne Wade would be making an appearance in the house tomorrow night. Another aside, he was able to donate to the school like 32 boxes of athletic gear for this team to bring downstate, giving back to his community. But Dwayne Wade could be in the house tomorrow night.
Left-handed jumper from Ryan Colazzo will not go.
See Ilya Gonzalez, he's a 4.3 student who also had a 26 on his ACT. Very cerebral player. He certainly knows when to push and when to, make his team slow down and play even tempo.
Prattle inside for the offensive foul.
You see the replay here. Prattle's going to get himself with his back to the basket and just lowers his shoulder and staying right in there with two Lockport defenders. And even though Richards enjoys a 31-20 lead, the last 2 or 3 trips down the floor, they've not been quite in sync from an offensive standpoint.
Gamble can't find it. Richards does. Thomas, Denson, finish.
Thomas has great vision. That's his ability as a quarterback, obviously, to be able to see everything around him. His peripheral vision, he was able to see the man streaking down the side and finish that play. Denson.
Darrell Williams on the deep shot. He is third on the team in three-pointers, comes up short. Now here in the final minute, Richards just hold. Up by 13.
John Geppetto standing right in front of U of I, studying his card, deciding which play he wants to run as he relays that to his fine point guard, Elliot Gonzalez. Gonzalez kind of looks like, what, coach? Don't really understand, but they got 25 seconds to get it right.
Now down to 15.
They'll run a set play for Tommy Thomas, I would believe.
Williams with the pressure. This is Richard. Rebound, Gerald at the buzzer. And Richards will go into the locker room with a 13-point lead. They led by 4 at the end of the first quarter. They pocket a 13-point advantage as they work their way into the locker rooms here at Carver Arena. Let's go to Lee Hall. He's standing by with Richards head coach John Geppetto.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Coach, I know you weren't too happy with some of the offensive possessions there late in the second quarter, but the way you guys started the second quarter with that run was awfully impressive.
Yeah, we really just need to be more disciplined on the offensive end. We turned it into a Park League game here for a few minutes, and that's just not the way to do it in a big game like this. This is too good of a team to let them back when you get a good lead because we're not playing smart. And so if we just better play more intelligent on the offensive end in the second half, keep playing D the way we're playing, then I'll be happy with that, and I know our whole community will be happy with that. So,
all right, 13-point lead at half. Good luck second half,
Coach.
Coach.
Thank you very much.
All right, Dave, back to you.
8:15 tomorrow night. Zion Benton will be playing in a state championship ball game. And right now, Richards a 13-point advantage. It's looking good for the Bulldogs. Back with our halftime here from Carver Arena right after this. Welcome back to Carver Arena in Peoria. Halftime, Lockport trailing Richards 33-20, and we invite you to look with us at our Honda halftime highlights. Honda featuring the all-new 268 horsepower Accord V6, and your highlights as one would suspect dominated by Richards.
Elliot Gonzalez, the first one to drive, and then the flush as he draws the defense to him, and the finish on the inside high above the rim. And then a little bit of Lockport penetration. Looks like a nice play by Darrell Williams. He splits the defense and scores 2, takes the ball to the glass himself in transition. Again, the lob pass, the nice catch, and the finish at the other end is Richards' ability to get out and run. 11 points off turnovers in that half. Once again, the run out, the lob pass by Tommy Thomas, and Prattle is able to reap the benefits of that nice look and finish the deal for Richards.
It was 3 points early, 3-point shooting, and now dunks late, and it adds up to a 13-point lead at the half. We're going to get set for quarter number 3 right after this on the IHSA TV network.
Coach, I know you couldn't have been too happy about that first half defensively. What adjustments did you make in the locker room?
Well, hopefully we'll battle the boards a little better and get back. Richards had their way in the first half just because of the fact they had a little more energy than our kids. Hopefully we can get back in the game by just playing a little bit harder and get some shots to fall.
All right, Coach, good luck. Dave, take it away.
Indeed, the big win over Thornton in the sectionals. Porter shot 67%, and they may need that here in the second half. And Mark, they've got to stay away from the turnovers as you've broken down those turnovers in a little bit more detail.
Well, 10 turnovers by Lockport, but more importantly, 7 steals by Richards. They've parlayed those 7 steals into 11 points. So sometimes if you don't convert turnovers into points, it's a meaningless stat. When you're able to steal the basketball and turn it into a track meet, you're that much more of an effective pressing team.
Inside out. Carroll, nothing there at the free throw line. Zion Benton in a thrilling finish in our first semifinal today. 54-51 winners over Evanston on about a 35-foot banked-in three-pointer at the buzzer by Ronald Stewart. The ZBs checking out this one.
Good possession by Lockport. 40 seconds they had the basketball. They got a layup, but they weren't able to finish the deal. So very solid possession, but a disheartening finish to that possession, not being able to hit the chippy inside.
Prattle posting up nicely. Sean Prattle, he has come on so strong at the end of the year, developing, and players or teams will throw 2 and 3 men down on him, so it's important that Richards been able to shoot from the outside. But as you look into the eyes here, the 6'8", 215-pound junior, you don't know, Mark, whether you're looking at a Division I football player or possibly a Division I basketball player. Right now, football is his main sport, and that's big time. But John Geppetto says, if he grows a couple more inches, maybe you might need to look in a different direction.
Absolutely. He's just so athletic. He's so strong. His physicality is unmatched, and he comes from a great gene pool. His father was a scholarship football player at the University of Michigan, so he's been around athletics. He's been around success, and I'm sure that his college choice will be a good one insofar as what sport he decides to pursue.
Yeah, he comes from what John Geppetto calls the first family of Richards football. His free throw has given his team a 14-point lead.
Right now we have Lockport being very patient. Right now we have Richards playing very solid man-to-man defense.
And another steal. Thomas had eyes behind his head. He said he'll take it himself. Richard, Thomas, basket.
Little volleyball on the rim. That's the 8th steal, and that's another basket basically off the steal, although it wasn't on the first shot. They got second and third opportunity.
It's interesting as we see Tommy Thomas, I joke eyes in the back of his head, but you could see as he was going down the left side of the lane, the peripheral vision you were talking about earlier, he was looking behind his right shoulder.
That's the sixth sense, and it's just the ability to know what's around you, to have command of all 94 feet on the basketball floor. And again, I think his quarterbacking, enables him to be able to check off and see his second and third receiver on the basketball court, just like the football field.
3-point attempt and the loose ball will actually go to the Porters, and the inside bucket will go to Rob Carroll. Great hustle by Lockport.
Ryan Palazzo went to the floor, and he had the presence of mind to be able to look down the middle of the floor and found his teammate streaking. A great get your knee bleeding kind of play by Lockport. Those are the kind of plays that can pick up a defense, but right now you see 2 or 3 Lockport players down grabbing their knees, fatigue maybe setting in. They better have one more push in them or this game could get out of hand.
And we're only 2 minutes into the third quarter. There's Prattle inside. He's tough to stop there.
Just an unfair matchup as he had Ryan Collazo at 5'10" on his back. He gave up 9 inches on that mismatch. Great recognition by Richards to get that bucket inside.
You are looking at the biggest Richards lead of the night at 16 points. They're going to get a chance for more here. This is what makes Richards so tough to defend. If they can knock down those outside shots early, which they did, now they can play the low post with Prattle. You've got Richard, who can move the entire floor.
And at some point in this game, Lockport's going to have to get out and guard man-to-man, and that's really out of their defensive scheme. They're a 2-3 and 1-2-2 zone team. They do not want to try to match up with Richards man-to-man.
They're going to have to here soon. Nice block from behind by Gamble. Prattle thought he might have had another one. Prattle with the reach, and you know, I don't know whether he actually made contact or not, but just the way he was lurking back there, you knew that foul call was going to against Sean Prattle. He looks up at the scoreboard, and he sees a 16-point lead for his team. He's going to go to the bench. We're going to take a timeout. Be back after these local messages. What do you say we play our IHSA trivia? Then it's brought to you by the National Association of Realtors. Looking for a professional realtor? Go to Realtors.com. Okay, here you go. Since Lockport Central's state championship in 1978, Chicago's south suburbs have lost how many state title games?
I'm going to go with 7, but only because that's my lucky number. Otherwise, I don't have the foggiest clue on that one. That's a toughie.
That's 1978, so that's 30 years. I'm going to say 4. I don't think it's as many as 7. Homewood Flossmoor came here. They lost to Peoria. I have to think about that.
There's 1.
7 seems like a lot.
But it's my lucky number.
Then we're going to roll it. Roll it. That 78 team in Lockport history. Legends. You heard Lee Hall talk to Scott Parsich earlier on tonight. 33-0 run under head coach Bob Visarich. Prattle, boy, what a look at that feed from Gonzalez.
He saw Prattle with the defender on his back about 45 feet away. He was able to use that vision and make that play with almost seamless effortlessness.
You know, I'm looking back at that. It happened in front of us here. Here's a three-point attempt from Collazo. He knocks it down. Ryan Collazo in the scorebook. That pass by Gonzalez, I don't know how many of the people that are here really saw how great a play that was. Here's Richard the other way. Gamble again, the big body inside. I think Landon Gamble is really going to be something here. Just a sophomore, and he doesn't have the big numbers right now through the entire season. I think he's going to be something special. Collazo didn't quite get the full extension underneath that bucket. And here is our trivia question once again. Lockport state championship in 78. Since that time, how many South Suburban teams have lost state title games? 6, so we both missed it.
There's your HF.
Thornwood a couple of times. Of course, I should have had that. Rich Central, and then Thornton. That was the obvious one again. Twice here to Peoria Manual. The answers always make sense when they're revealed. What a great drive right there by Denson.
He was able to split the defense. Lockport came out, a little 1-2-2 trap. They got the ball to the middle, then to the wing, and Denson was able to slice through and then finish with a nice move, totally under control.
Little turnaround J. Nice move there by JJ, Justin Jaros.
You know, Jaros takes the dime out there, the assist, if you will, from Collazo. Collazo's giving them some really nice minutes. He had a jump shot, he got a floor burn kind of play, and then handing out an assist there.
Just like that, Tommy Thomas undoes all the good that Lockport just had. Knocks down his 13th point, his second three-pointer.
Hello, there's the answer right there.
Biggest lead of this game, 45-27. Ripped away inside nicely by Brian Bradley. He gets to double figures. He's got 10.
Bradley just kind of hanging around in transition. Sometimes you want your player to get back, but he just had that little sense that he might be able to make a play. Gets an easy garbage basket off the steal.
We'll go to the Porters. What a tournament Brian Bradley has had. He hit that three-pointer at the buzzer from the top of the key at the ISU Super Sectional to defeat O'Fallon. He called it the luckiest shot he's ever made. I don't know about that. But how about his performance against Bloom in the sectional championship game? He had 2 free throws with 3 seconds left to force overtime. Porters ended up outscoring Bloom 13-0 in that overtime. And in that game, Bradley was 13 of 13 from the line.
Quite a performer. He's a big-time player who can play about every position on the floor. He's actually played some point guard this year. He plays a wing. He plays with his back to the basket.
He's at the point of this zone defense here. Sammy Olean into the ball game, had it ripped away. They'll let Williams shoot from up there, and he hits it.
Williams he was just shocked how open he was. That was like a step-in jump shot in the driveway, wide open, and they're kind of just hanging around.
Coming up on the final minute here in the third quarter. Gonzalez, about 3 different change of speeds.
You know what Gonzalez does so well, like most point guards? He doesn't see things before he makes a play. He's surveying the defense. A lot of times, you know, his first 10, 15 feet up the floor, he's already seeing everything in front of him, knowing where all other 9 people are on the floor.
But Gonzalez, a 4.3 GPA, ACT score in the upper 20s.
Also played soccer, so he has the ability to, you know, run the floor, run the field that way as well.
Richard with the acceleration down the lane will net him a couple of free throws.
He will be a tremendous Division III student athlete with Elliot Gonzalez. It's just a kind of a coach's dream because he is the prototype coach on the floor.
Man, at the free throw line, Carl Richards, the type of player that coach would like, of course, for his flashy play, his great athleticism, and a lot of times it'll be the fans that would look at a fellow like Elliot Gonzalez and say, you know, when the game's over, oh, you know, he's a nice player. But the coach understands.
He's a coach's player.
Yep.
And, you know, against Neuqua Valley, when he went out with that ankle injury, the game changed. Neuqua made a run. He came back in. Boom. Richards, a whole different team with their leader on the floor in the basketball game.
Carl Richard now with 10 points. He averages 15.9. Dwayne McGee into the game will draw the foul. Pick up the foul call for the Richards Bulldogs. First time they have played in a state final there in the Super Sectional. Back in 1998 with Dwayne Wade. Lost by a point to Joliet. That ball game was played at East Aurora.
Bradley playing the point right now again for Lockport. Now that negates his ability to get shots, you know, for people to get him shots. He's trying to create for other people.
He gets to handle it now.
Richards right now going to make sure that they have 2 people in the lane on the weak side to try to negate any defensive, offensive rebound and any drive by Lockport late in this possession. You'll see the defense rotate over. There'll be extra gold shirts in the paint like that.
Leads to a turnover. With time, Tommy Thomas doesn't realize it. And that closed out the quarter. So they didn't get the points, Richards, but they got the defensive stop, and they will walk into the last 8 minutes of this game with a 15-point lead.
Dunlap Marching Eagles are here, and I got a fever. And in the words of Christopher Walken, the only cure is more cowbell. We're not going to take it anymore. All right, guys, just some of the fun up here in the stands. Back to you.
Lee, I have to tell you, you know, I have people talking in my ear through the entire broadcast. And during that break, I said, I got this message in my ear that said, Lee is going to take it out of break. He has a cowbell in his hand, and I didn't even flinch. I thought, that's nothing. Lee has a cowbell in his hand.
Well, he didn't have a skirt on this time, or a wig or whatever. He comes up with everything. Mr. Versatility.
You know, that Dunlap band, they have been down here before, and I really, really enjoyed their performances. The games we broadcast, unfortunately, we have a different sound than we do if you're just here in the arena. But all these pep bands that come down here give the fans that come the sound, I think, that's all about high school sports, high school basketball specifically.
Another way for people to contribute, student athletes, whether they're singing the national anthem, playing in the band, what have you.
Here are your third quarter stats brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
I think what really stands out right there is Richards shooting 50%. Lockport, they have just been frigid. Free throw line, Richards getting the ball deep. That's why they have the advantage there.
10 rebound advantage as well. Porters from Lockport have some big making up to do right now, but it won't start well.
Steal, steal, steal for the Richards Bulldogs tonight. That's what they live off of as a program philosophically.
Great feed inside from Gonzalez. Again, Richards going to get the 2 points.
Yeah, and that time Richard had the man on his left shoulder. Gonzalez passed to his right shoulder. So again, passing the ball away from the defense, recognition of where his man has the defense seal, and Richard gets the easy basket, but he did the tough job posting up.
Will not go for Bradley. Not only did Gonzalez throw it where he should have, he threw it when. I mean, it was just perfect, absolutely perfect timing.
5 assists, maybe 6 for Gonzalez right now, just quarterbacking this team from the lead guard position. Great players make other people around him better. He fits into that mode. Not a great player, but a very, very solid one that you would take as your point guard almost any high school in the IHSA.
5'10" senior controls now.
Ball screen, a little pick and pop. Richards will probably step out and do it again.
I think that's the guy I'd want running my show.
They went 1-4 high. Again, you talked about his hesitation, dribble ability. He went off a would-be screen by Richard at the right elbow, was able to rub his man off, and then switch from his right hand to his left and kiss it off the glass.
Bradley could not find Darrell Williams inside. Now Lawrence Thompson Jr. going to have to reach into his bag for something here. He knew it was going to be a struggle offensively because of the defensive pressure of Richards. And there is Denson to Prattle. And he just brought down the entire backboard.
With authority, and that should just about do things if they weren't done already.
Right now, you look at Richards, they're not just sending a message to Lockport, they're sending a message to Zion Benton.
Tell you what Richards is doing right now, they're having an awful lot of fun on the floor, and Lawrence Thompson Jr. is going to try to negate that right now with a timeout.
On the floor, and here comes Sean Prattle right at you and jamming it home. Greens is a proud sponsor of these IHSA telecasts and the IHSA Do What's Right sportsmanship program.
Two little sweethearts having a good time.
Especially since they are wearing those Richards t-shirts.
Now we get the ESSIG report, which is the IHSA's answer maybe to the BCS. According to the ESSIG report, computer printout, Richards was supposed to win this game 71-67. It was supposed to be a 4-point game, but the computer malfunctioned on this one, didn't it?
All right, but take a look. You've got it right there. Take a look how close our first semifinal game was supposed to be between Zion Benton and Evanston, which was decided by a banked-in three-pointer at the buzzer.
Evanston 79.4 power points. Zion Benton 79.4. So Charlie's machine hit that one right on the button.
Keep away time now here for the Bulldogs.
They have played a superlative basketball game after we saw them play a superlative basketball game just Tuesday night. So they're in sync completely right now at the most opportune time of the basketball season, the state finals.
You know, and they have been definitely the better team on this floor tonight, but I really think it was so important for them making their first appearance. They knocked down 3 3-pointers early on and sparked them to now this 21-point lead. We'll come back for the Final Four 27 after these words from your local sponsors. Apple's Bakery Peoria has introduced a new gluten-free line of desserts. Yes, it's true. Check out their website, applesbakery.com. And Parents Apples also has great college student packages and corporate gifts as well. That's Apple's Bakery Peoria. Our Chevy Drive of the Game is brought to you by Chevrolet. See what's new. Go to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Elliot Gonzalez, our Chevy Drive of the Game.
He went by one person and then through 3 others to kiss that one off the glass and make a tough shot look relatively easy.
And that time you wondered when the trap was going to have an effect. There it was, but will bounce back the other way.
I think Richards was indecisive on that offense possession, whether they were to be 4 corners or in a 2-on-2 offense. Finally, a little bit too late, Carl Richard went to the high post, and thus his pass was batted away just because of his indecision.
These two teams, as many do, of course, played each other in the summer. The conclusion of a series of games, and Richards won handily. John Geppetto admitted it was a sloppy game, but how much does that factor in your summer games against an opponent, whether you get anything out of it, scouting or any measurement at all?
I think that, the scouting and the factor of how you're playing is very minimal. I think as a coach, when you come from summer basketball game, depending on who's at a vacation, an AAU situation, a job, I think the one thing you take out of it is how do we match up? Do we match up with Richards? Do we match up with Lockport? Do we match up with Chicago Simeon, depending on your opponent? Or is somebody above and beyond, our level of play? And sometimes, even if you lose a ball game, you can say, hey, we match up athletically. I'll take my chances, next December, January, February.
Even with 3:52 left in a 21-point lead, the Richards Bulldogs are not making it easy for the Porters.
It won't be too long. I know Coach Geppetto will try to be very cognizant of saving their legs, but they don't play for, 24 hours now.
Well, that is one difference, right? Now that we've gone to the 4-class system, there are only 2 games played in 2 days. Here's Denson to finish. He has 8 points.
Very unselfish pass by Prettle that time.
Remember, coming up tomorrow, we still have 4 games being played here at Carver Arena. Washington, Champaign Central at 11 o'clock in the 3A third-place game. Championship game to follow. Public League battle, Marshall and Simeon in the 4A championship. Evanston will play at 6:30 in the 4A third-place game, and Zion Benton will play the winner of this one. Darrell Williams gets double figures. He has 10.
Little run and jump, but nothing that Gonzalez can't match.
Nor Prattle.
Denson gave to Prattle after Prattle had just done the same for Denson the previous trip. So they're playing, I'll help you, you help me, sharing the wealth, sharing the rock.
Prattle now with 18 points. The average is 13.4. Jarros the other way will roll it in with the left hand, and now Lawrence Thompson Jr. is emptying his bench at 2:29, and here comes the wave of Richards Bulldogs. And you can hear the Richards fans appreciative of their team's efforts as they know they're going to be playing a state title game 24 hours from now.
21-point lead with 2:25 to go, and Richards put on a defensive clinic. Talking to Ellie Gonzalez yesterday, one comment he gave to me about Coach Geppetto, this is what players love. He says, Coach Geppetto gives us total freedom defensively. So he has his system in, and within that system there's freedom as to there are certain rules and trapping areas, but within those areas it's their call. And I'm talking to John about that same thing. John said our team is now doing some things that I didn't even think they could do defensively.
Here's what's coming up tomorrow here on the IHSA TV network. 3A consolation game comes your way at 11 o'clock. Champaign Central heartbreaking loss to Simeon earlier, takes on a local Washington Panthers. And then your 3A championship. A lot of folks expected this one. Simeon and Marshall at 12:30. Tomorrow evening, we'll be back here for the consolation game in 4A. It looks like it's going to be Lockport against Evanston, and what a great 4A championship we'll have. We'll call it Richards and Zion Benton your way at 8:15. Of course, we have the Country Insurance Financial Services three-point showdown. We got some slam dunking going on. It's a full day here at Carver Arena. And that's a great question right there. Who did let the dogs out?
You're going to call it Richards. Now in politics, that's not Dewey versus Truman. I think you're pretty safe with a 56-35 lead.
Yeah,
calling the Richards Bulldogs.
This is not a trivia question that I've butchered twice already today.
That's a pretty safe call tonight. Considering all the politicos we've seen, they call things about 10 seconds after the polls close this day and age, don't they?
Let's see if we can get some of these folks in here. Lamar Harvey wears number 11 for Richards. He's into the ball game, and we get some late substitutions here. Keith Sconiers wants to work into the game. Here he is.
Richards only had 4 players on the floor there for a brief moment. Good officiating at this juncture of the game, making sure the young men get in.
Tyrone Roper with it. He'll go across court to Dwayne McGee. McGee saw some time in the first half. This is Keith Sconiers again. We'll look to run a little bit of clock here, but you got to believe these young men on the floor would like to score, and Roper's going to try to do that. Won't get it. Rebound pulled off by Lonnie Pinnock for Lockport. Pinnock on the move. He wants to get some points. It won't go for him. The tip will.
Great job hanging around the basket.
Lonnie Pinnock with the bucket, also into the game for Lockport. Wearing number 14 is Kyle Ford. Stopping is Roper. Harvey has it. Also, Sammy Olean for Richards. Deflection there for Kevin Malloy for the Porters. Jake Boyce wears number 34 in white for Lockport. More Bulldogs coming our way. Who did live the dogs out? And now we've got a held ball inside.
Pretty good poise shown by the second unit of the Richards Bulldogs from Oak Lawn. Been able to reverse the basketball a few times, and very much unselfish guys looking for their teammate underneath.
Jeff Harris along with Kyle Rentgen for Richards. And I think they're counting how many people are on the floor. We're set. Jake Boyce to inbound for Lockport, and he'll get it to Kyle Ford. Here comes some more Porters. Number 44 is going to be Aaron Tucker. He's followed by Kyle Petchis. And then Andre Mays, are they going to let him in?
Great job by both coaches getting all of the young men in uniform onto the floor of Carver Arena tonight. Good job by both of them.
You know what they're doing, too? I mean, some of the substitutions they've made, Pinnock got a basket, so Lawrence Thompson said, okay, you got your time. I'm going to bring somebody else in. John Chiappetto on the other side. There was a little bit of time for Dwayne McGee and Sammy Olean in the first half, so he has them get a couple minutes, or seconds even, and takes them out. Mays to Malloy. Reflection will go it the other way. Randall Rushing comes in for Richards along with Peter Danos. That should just about exhaust the Richards bench at the 107 mark.
Richards still out trapping the basketball, though. But that's their program philosophy. That's the way they play.
Play that way in practice every day. Why not do it when you get here? Ball nearly poked away. Mays still with it. Looking down inside, it was Aaron Zerkes who wanted to get the ball inside. And he will finish up the bucket. So good job by Aaron Zerkes. He looked for somebody else, and he gets 2 of his own.
Able to score in traffic. Nice backdoor cut.
Danos got the ball to Kyle Rankin. That's a charging call.
Nice play there by Aaron Tucker. 6'4", 180, a 16-year-old junior who's right there rotating over weak side, trying to make a statement that someday he's going to be a player on the inside for the Lockport Porters. Maybe 2008, 2009. Richards fans begin the chant we've been so accustomed to as
Mays can't get his 3 to go, and now here comes Bulldogs break. They're going to back it up. I say get him while you can. And that's Randall Rushing.
Well, I tell you what, we had the miracle finish in game 1, and we had just a magnificent performance by Richards in this game, but just outstanding guard play all evening long. Entertainment by the lead guards of all 4 basketball teams tonight. I thought just, makes the game that much more fun to watch when you see guys that can perform magic with a basketball.
Randall Rushing, a 6'2", 150-pound sophomore. So the Richards fans will have to kill some time in Peoria here in the next 24 hours.
And they'll enjoy doing it.
What a great feeling that is. And as I said, you don't play those 3 games in 2 days. It's just 2 games in 2 days. You can really enjoy what's going on here. Andre Mays the other way. And that will do it. Richards advances to the Class 4A state title game, 58-41 over the Lockport Porters. So in their first trip to the state finals, Richards gets to play for a state championship. Their opponent, the ZBs from Zion Benton. Richards will move their record now to 29-4. Lockport will face Evanston in the consolation game that will come your way tomorrow evening at 6:30. Lockport Porters 24-7, just their second loss since a tough stretch in the middle of January.
Richards' defense dominated early on, created havoc, just did not let Lockport come close to running their offense on any consistent basis, able to transition steals into turnovers, and John Geppetto is going to be a happy camper right now.
And he's with Ashley Robinson. Ashley?
Coach, tell me how excited you are about this win tonight.
Wow. It's amazing. I'm going to have to check the calendar to see if it's not November, as Richards is in a basketball state championship and not a football state championship. So I'm just thrilled. I'm happy for these kids. I'm happy for our fans. And Richards High School, I just think, really deserves this. This is awesome.
All right, Coach, thanks. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
And then our Country Insurance and Financial Services player of the game, Sean. Big man down low, throwing down some dunks today. How's it feel?
It feels great. About to play in the state championship. It feels real good.
Well, you did a great job tonight, so good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Ashley. Some great post-game comments in our first game. Ronald Stewart hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer, banked in a shot from about 40 feet out. In a post-game interview, he said, I didn't call bank, but I did call money. And here, John Geppetto, another great comment. You got to make sure it's not November and it isn't Richards playing for a football championship.
Yeah, John Geppetto, just one excited young man. He's reached the apex in his first trip down here. Title game appearance.
Back with the dunk contest after these local messages. There's your final in the 4A semi.